Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I tinker with throughout the day. For step-by-step detailed instructions of those tasks, you can click on the links in the comment section below. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. This video also has tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. So, thank you very much for watching. Good morning, party people. I always said good morning because the sun is always rising in my life. I want to do a end of the year, probably my last YouTube channel update. I want to kick it off by thanking everyone that responded to my requests, birthday contributions to help me get a couple of purchases behind me. I had about 40 people respond and make donations. A few people did, great, and a couple people, wow, they just really blew me away with their generosity. I appreciate that because most of you know that I'm very generous to viewers and people that need help as well. Car donations, time donations, making videos take time. People are generous to me, and I appreciate that very much. Also want to appreciate those that have went on ahead and joined the Patreon. Through that drive, a couple people joined Patreon, so I have a couple new Patreon members. I want to remind you guys that there are videos in the Patreon site that you can view without being a contributor. You don't have to pay to view things in Patreon site. So keep that in mind. Couple people, had about 40 people make donations through that drive. Again, thank you very much. Now, I had budgeted for a few things. A new computer that will be capable of helping me achieve my video processing goals. I have a very good computer that I've had for about 4 years. It was a year old when I purchased it. However, lately I've been making longer videos and videos up to an hour long in my Patreon side. So I'll take a week long of clips, make the video for people that view them in Patreon, and then post them in Patreon, and then I cut them up into the daily videos. The people in Patreon usually can see a video up to a month ahead of the regular viewers. So that's a little bit of a benefit of being in the Patreon site. There's a couple of personal things that I put in the Patreon page that the general public probably don't care to see. So those things are in there. But again, thank you very much. If you're a Patreon contributor, that helps me budget things that I can do. And again, a special thanks to a couple people. One guy actually helped me get 2 sets of tires, one for Queen Bee, one for Panther. Man, I really needed that help, and I appreciate it very much. Now, when I started my little drive, I had budgeted for a few things. The contributions helped me gain about 38% of my budget. That was a lot. However, because it didn't reach my goal, I had to be creative in acquiring the things that I needed. So I ended up getting a computer, probably 50 cents on the dollar. I shopped real hard, shopped real wisely. I cut things that I didn't need out of it. I still think I got a very productive computer, and it didn't cost me as much as I initially thought. Saved the money, a lot of money there. Now, some of you know that I have issues with my back, especially when I move heavy things, transmissions, cylinder heads, stuff like that. So I wanted to get a good quality office chair. When we moved to another apartment, I was at the furniture store, and they introduced me to a chair line that is actually approved by the Orthopedic Foundation of America, and these chairs are made and designed for people that have back issues. Man, those things are very costly. I was able to shop around and found one on Craigslist probably 30 cents on the dollar. I'll show you what that chair looks like. So, man, I saved big on that as well. So I didn't get a computer desk, but I had a fold-out table. All in all, I ended up, your contributions, instead of being 38 cents to the dollar, ended up being 78 cents to the dollar. Almost covered the total cost of my computer and my chair situation. Really appreciate that. So here's a glimpse of my computer that I have that I'm going to be using to do my videos here soon. This is a gaming class computer. Someone told me about video editing, powerful computers, and when I looked at the specs, they were basically gaming class computers. However, getting a gaming computer allowed me to save money versus the companies that sell video processing computers. Same equipment inside, it's just boxed in a gaming contraption and has those kind of opportunities for sales doing Cyber Monday, stuff like that. Now, the computer I had was a HP business class computer, an Elite Book. That computer had like a gig of video memory. This one has like 6 gigs. That one had I had upgraded it to an SSD drive. This one has some kind of newer SSD drive. It has the ability to put 2 drives in there for storage. It had come with a red keyboard. I decided to knock that down to a white keyboard. I just think that red was too much for me, but I downgraded the display, upgraded some other things, and this computer should do me well in editing. Hopefully cut the editing time in half and definitely not crash. Right now my current computer crashes every once in a while if I don't reboot it before doing a video. Come to find out that the last computer I had that got swiped was not as good as the computer I've been using. So that purchase was done a little bit quicker without as much thought and knowledge. This one should be good to go. I'm excited to have it. I saved so much money on that computer, and deals were going so well on Cyber Monday. I decided to make another purchase that should help my video processing, mostly for I guess we call it entertainment purposes. I got a little drone here. It was an entry-level drone. It's supposed to be one of the top 10 drones of last year. Definitely probably the best entry-level drone I can get. Holy something makes it. So I'm going to get this thing registered, fire it up. Sad to say, I've had my computer almost a week. Haven't even had the chance to power it on. I've been real busy helping a few viewers, of course, with our move, trying to get things settled. Hopefully I'll get my computer fired up today, get this registered today, order a memory card for the camera, and hopefully be able to make some videos and just spice it up a little bit. This is the chair that I ended up getting. I've actually seen one of these chairs before at one of my friend's place when I went and helped him do a rear main seal. I don't know if you guys remember Ken. His name on Matthew's Volvo site is DOS Bricks, but it is a stressless chair, specially designed to help people with back issues. This chair, he told me, was the only chair he could sit in for longer than 10 minutes. It's been very comfortable. I bought it secondhand. It was just too expensive to get brand new, but it came with that footrest there, so I should have a lot of use. I was told that people keep these chairs as long as 20 years, so I'm looking forward to using that for many years to come. Now, I want to apologize to a couple of viewers that made donations. I have PayPal set up to accept donations. I recently set up a Cash App to accept donations. People sometimes mail donations. There are several other ways to pay for things online, to send donations. Unfortunately, I am not set up to receive donations in 20 different formats. So if you sent a donation through a way that I am not set up to receive it, I apologize. Am not in the position, have the time to set up all these different payment methods and payment receiving methods. I really appreciate your attempt to send a donation, but there's 3 or 4 people that wanted to send a donation through some other way, Facebook, Google app, all these other things. Man, I apologize. Not set up to do that. I appreciate your attempt to help me out. I really do. As you guys know, I often help people while traveling on the road. And this past year, I helped a few people with manual swaps. Helped people with other maintenance things and stuff like that. If at all possible, I can still travel to your area. Little more difficult. Had a couple of weird things happen this year. These things upset me and my wife sometimes, and they make us make adjustments to our travel. Now, I don't let horrible people stop me from helping others. And I want to ask that if you have certain urges, to resist them. We were in a dinner situation with a lady. She actually pulled up a nude photo of herself on her phone, showed it to me and my wife. We have no desire to see nude pictures of any of our viewers, anybody. No, we're not into that. You know, keep that stuff to yourself. Kind of weird and crazy to see a nude picture of somebody while we're trying to have dinner. Thought we were just having a decent afternoon. So stuff like that happens. Have people get a little bit aggressive or upset with me because I didn't get to their location at the time they wanted me to get there. I get there when I can. Sorry about that. Having more difficulty staying with people in their homes. So if you're not a pre-approved in-home dwelling visit, we'll be in a hotel. Had a couple people actually say, hey Robert, come visit us, come help with this, I can help with expenses. Get there, help them, got stiffed, you know. $200 here, $300 here, you know. It's not a big deal, but it makes it hard for me to travel around. Now, people have told me that I should get deposits before even going places. I like to believe that most of my viewers that ask for help appreciate the help that they've already got through the videos, and I don't have to box people into stuff like deposits and stuff. But when I make a stop somewhere, eat a couple meals, get a hotel room, go help them with some work, and then when it's time to leave, they promise they're going to send me something through PayPal or something, and I never get it. That, you know, hurts my ability to travel. As I've said before, I normally ask people to help me with the cost of getting there, help me with food and lodging, and then I normally pay my way home out of donations that people give me, but it's hard to do all that and pay for my own hotels and all that kind of stuff. So, but I don't plan on making any changes for this next travel and help season that will kick off in April. So I have a desire still to help people do major things like transmission conversions. That is the number one funnest thing that I've done to my wagon, the Panther. Converted that thing from a automatic transmission to a standard transmission. I've helped a couple other people do that. There's good videos to help you do that yourself. If you are in the process of doing that or wanting that done, you want my help, contact me. Now, I am starting to hear that it's getting a little harder to find those non-turbo cars to use as donors to get the parts from. So if there's something you want to do, you plan on doing it within the next year or 2 or 3, go ahead and get those parts. If you find a car in the junkyard, use the videos, get those parts out of the junkyard, start to save up for the rest of the parts. If at all possible, I'll come and help you do that conversion. Here's a little video clip about turbo upgrades. I have the K24 turbo upgrade video in my Patreon side. I'm going to make that available for people that don't want to do a Patreon contribution and they want to just purchase that video. You guys know most of the videos I have, just about 99% of them are there for people to use. Now, if there's a video like that, somebody's doing an upgrade, that video cost me about $500 to make. I'm probably going to put a link to it on my website for people to pay $5 or $10 to have access to that video. That's not a video you need to keep your car running, but if you're doing upgrades, paying everybody else, if you want to save yourself some time, frustration, you can rent that video from me and watch it as many times as you want for like a $5 or $10 payment thing. So there's going to be a couple videos that I'm going to put on my website that you can pay to access. And it's not going to be much, but I promise you it'll save you money paying for those videos if you're not a Patreon member. Those videos are in the Patreon site already. Another thing, I'm extremely busy right now. I need to rebuild Red Baron. I need to finish the tuning stuff on Queen Bee. I need to fix some things on Panther. So right now I'm not booking really any repair stuff. I got 3 or 4 people that are already in my schedule. I got the lady with the donor car. I'm halfway finished with doing all the maintenance on that. I got Paul with his C30 cylinder head job with other things that came along with that. I got Karen with her Maserati engine torn apart. I'm probably not going to take any more helper jobs on until I get all this stuff that's in my way behind me. I still got to get things sorted out with my move. So it'll probably be March or April before I start taking on any more people to help. Unfortunately, I'm just a little bit overwhelmed right now. The turbo for Red Baron. It's one of the K24 turbos that came out of a S60R. As you can see, it has the upgraded billet wheel, 11 blade, extra high inlet wheel, compressor wheel on that, ready to turn and burn. It has improved bearing in it. It has a improved tricked out turbine wheel, help that thing spool up faster, more stable. Now a guy that put one of these in his V70R, him and his wife was so thrilled with the turbo rebuild that they bought another R. That's how excited they was about it. They said it felt like the car was rebirthed. So this turbo is going in Red Baron. Tony said that he thinks this thing will produce 400 horsepower or better because of the improvements, modifications on it. Now, there are some people out there saying that, hey, put you a 19T on your P80 car and have it tricked out. It can perform as well as a K24 or maybe even outperform a K24. Well, if you take a K24 or KKK Turbo, as I think they're technically named, that 19T shouldn't be able to touch it. That's what I got from Turbo Tony. Now, in the comments of this video, there's a video link that talks about this turbo and its upgrades a little more in depth. I do want to let you know that the last time I talked to Tony about this turbo, he kind of warned me and told me to let a couple of my viewers know that, of course, this is an old turbo. I think it was actually designed maybe by Borg and Warner, something like that, in the 80s. Now, this turbo is not only on the S and V70Rs. they got a version of this turbo on some of the S80s and other vehicles that are not even Volvo. Now, this particular one, because it's old technology, it's good technology, but it's old technology. The companies that made the improved parts on here, the compressor wheel or turbine wheel or bearings or something in this rebuilt, tricked out turbo, they've quit making those parts. And the supply is run extremely low. So Tony said, hey, get with your subscribers and let them know if they want one of these tricked out K24 turbos, they need to get in touch with him ASAP so that they can reserve the parts to rebuild it. You don't have to get the turbo right away. You don't have to get it rebuilt right away. But you contact Tony, let him know you're going to get one of these rebuilt. Probably send him a deposit so that he can get the parts needed to rebuild them. He may have a couple on hand, but there may be more than just a couple of people that want this turbo tricked out. Get with him, have him reserve those parts for you, put them on the shelf with your name on it. You don't have to get the thing done today. This turbo should be much better than new. I've even seen other tuners use this turbo and tricked it out in a little bit different fashion. At any rate, if they run out of parts, you're not going to be able to get one tricked out. So if you think you want one tricked out because you want a lot of good options for a lot of good power, contact Turbo Tony. His information's in the comments, his information on the screen. Tell him, hey, I want one of those turbos tricked out. What do I need to do? He'll get a deposit from you, order your parts to trick it out, and then when you're ready to have one tricked out, you could either have him build one that he has on hand. He'll ship it to you when you pay for it, and you send them back yours as a core, or you could remove yours, ship it to him, he'll rebuild it, get it back to you. However you guys want to do that, that's between you and him. But again, if you want a incredible performing turbo, this one will do it. This is a nice upgrade for P80 Volvos and some of the other Volvos that people are putting in RN engines and stuff like that. But again, with the proper mods, Tony thinks this thing can produce about 430 horsepower, and it's an easier turbo to upgrade than some of the other ones. Personally, I really can't imagine having an 850 with more than 400 horsepower. Man, 850s are incredible cars to drive daily. Having one with more than 400 horsepower is probably not going to be a daily. And I just want to let you guys know, I recently tuned Queen Bee and Panther. The 18T that I put in Queen Bee, I had that turbo for 2 years before I sent it in for rebuild. I got it back from being rebuilt. It sat on the shelf another year before I installed it. So I bought the 18T, then I sent it to Turbo Tony to be rebuilt and tricked out. Now it's in Queen Bee. Had that turbo 3 years before I installed it. Same thing for Panther. I had a 19T brand new. I wanted to put a billet wheel on there, so I returned the turbo, had a billet wheel upgrade installed, got the turbo back. A year or so later, I installed it. I had that turbo probably 2.5 years before I installed it. So, you don't have to feel like you're pressured to do the upgrade mod right away. But if you're considering doing this upgrade on this turbo, you want to go ahead and contact Turbo Tony, send him a deposit so he can get the parts you need to upgrade one of these turbos if you want one of these K24 turbos. So get with him. You got the information. I'm sure you'll be thrilled. So there you have it. You've been told. I want to encourage you all to find something to do to help someone in your community with the holiday seasons. You got food banks, you got toy drives, you got all these things that that help people that are in need. And during the holiday season, those people seem to draw from those services a little more. So, never too late. Give $10, $20 or something along that lines to places that help the needy. Now, I don't normally tell people this. It's nothing to brag about. There is not a month that doesn't go by that I don't donate money towards either people in need or charitable causes outside of my video stuff. So I would never ask you guys to do something that I don't do, and it's not something I'm saying, hey, go hurt yourself to help others. But there are times that I have made requests. Very few times have I made requests to help people. Probably on this channel 2 or 3 times I've asked to help somebody. A friend of mine passed away. His wife was widowed without any way to deal with his final needs. I had a couple people I donated cars to, need to get parts for. Of course, my recent deal with trying to get computer and stuff. But there's not a month that doesn't go by that I am generous to some charitable donation place. And it doesn't take much, you know. I had about 40 people contribute to my recent drive to get my computer and chair and stuff. But if a lot of people give a little, these organizations will be funded in helping the people in their needed community. Now, one major thing that I hope to do next year is to drive Panther in the BBORR. That's something that I believe will be fun. It is a fundraiser for a charitable organization in the Texas area. It helps people that are homeless and a couple other things. And I also want to do it just to confirm, to let you guys know that, hey, these cars are worth your investment. If you have a Volvo like mine, or in that vintage area, it is worth putting some money into it. This is a high-speed road race. They block off part of the freeway. I'm going to try to get sponsors to help cover my costs to enter that thing. But Panther has over 430,000 miles on it. If I could take that car, enter it in that road race, drive it at high speeds, you can take one of those cars, do the maintenance on them, and keep those cars serviceable for as long as you like. I think they're worth it. They're very inexpensive to keep on the road once you do a certain amount of maintenance on them. And hey, giving it that torture test will show people even a car with this kind of miles on it could be driven hard and still make it home. I hope. So that's one thing I have a goal for to do this coming spring. And then I want to go out and, again, while I'm traveling, help people with maintenance, repairs, and dream things like manual conversion. So thanks again for being a viewer, for subscribing. And if you're not on the Patreon site, there are options to watch things there that are not charged. You can join that as a free viewer. So appreciate your viewing. Have a blessed Christmas holiday season. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.